you know. Can it be shared from that end, please? Because it's still not coming on from here. Can it be shared from the admin end, please? We had sent earlier. Okay. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, is anybody able to see the screen?
Yes, we can see. I can see.
Okay. Is it coming on? Is it coming on from here?
This is your email.
No. I'm sharing the slides by now. Okay.
Okay, it's coming up now. It's up now. You can see.
Okay.
Or I can see.
Okay. So we will be starting by introducing the theme. And the theme says navigate global disruptions. And it is a strategic leadership for a sustainable future. My particular presentation is on resilient leadership in a VUCA world. And Dr. Hidayat had mentioned briefly in the introduction, I'm a privileged distinguished fellow of this institute and a couple of institutes. I won't go into that. So I think that will give us the perspective from which I am coming. I'm coming from a multidisciplinary perspective for every one of us. So what do we mean by global disruptions? What are we talking about? Global disruptions are unexpected events or crises at the global level that can impact international trade, for instance, transportation, imports, exports, shipping, and other economic activities. It could also impact cultural and international relationships. And we know that there are several examples of such disruptions. For instance, pandemics like the COVID-19 pandemic, international conflicts like we've been experiencing Ukraine, Russia, Gaza, Israel, wars, trade wars like it has been happening with the US, with Canada, with China, and then global natural disasters. Also, global disruption encompasses events or crises with widespread impact across regions and sectors. So that means it doesn't stop where it started. Some people felt COVID-19 started from a particular country, and then it didn't stop there. It cut across the whole world. It went across all the continents, and it affected every sector. Some organizations up till now, they have not been able to bounce back as a result of that disruption called COVID-19. So there are various models that help anticipate the local effects of disruptions, especially trade wars or environmental shocks. Like I've mentioned Ukraine, I've mentioned Russia. Those are global disruptions. And then there are major disturbances. They are not too convenient. Something that can change the plan of people, something that can change the plan of nations, something that can change the plan of your organization forever. It can even change the life of somebody if it is not managed properly. So we will see the journey of global disruptions, because if we don't understand what global disruption is and what a VUCA world is, we'll not be able to talk about the resilient leadership. Now, it started way back with slavery, one of those global disruptions, slavery, 11,000 years ago, when agriculture came during the Neolithic Revolution. The start of agriculture made the richer people, the wealthier people, to enslave the poorer people. And they were working for them because of economic gains. And then that one ended, and we entered into colonization. Colonization came in the 15th century when Portugal and Spain started establishing trade outposts and military bases outside of Europe. So there were lots of military conquest, and nations were colonized. Nations were colonized. Then came again pandemic. It was as though the pandemic was going to be a big one. There had been the first major pandemic in the world in the 6th century. It's called the plague of Justinia. And then in the 14th century, there was a second plague called the Black Death. The Black Death was a terrible one. After colonization and slavery, when this pandemic came, it was as if the heavens answered the prayers of those that were enslaved, because both the masters, the lords, the militias, and the slaves and the colonized people were dying. So that brought another revolution. Then came wars. Of course, wars started from the very, very beginning, before 1000, and it is still going on now. So other global disruptions are economic depression, climate change, global currency fluctuations, and now international trade barriers. Global disruptions could have effects on human lives. I have mentioned the breakout of diseases like the pandemic. It could have effect on anybody, whether slave, whether master, rich or poor. The natural disasters can have effect on anyone. Environmental degradation could claim lives. Killings during war, tsunamis, hurricanes could claim lives. Then it could have effect on businesses. It could have effect on technology. It could have effect on politics. You know, if there is a major disruption and nations are running up and down. Okay, like in the last 2 weeks, there has been a proclamation by the United States of America president on Nigeria, on genocide and all of that. You know, if we don't take action from this part of the world now, it may not be what we expect it to be. So those are disruptions. It could have effect on regional individualism, your identity as a region. It could have effect on selective nationalism, and it could have effect on global pluralism through policies and so many other things. Global disruption could have effect on economy of the nation, the nation's growth and development. It could have effect on human development and human capital development. And usually they are driven by desire for economic surpluses. They are driven by power quest. Okay, I'm bigger than you. I must make you do what you have to do. And this could lead to population densities. It could lead to oppression. It could lead to marginalization if not managed well. Now, that is the preamble about global disruption that we are trying to navigate, which is the theme of this particular conference. Now, the VUCA world. What do we mean the VUCA world? That's a very, very interesting thing. The VUCA world is all encompassing, but we will be focusing on the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. When you say VUCA, VUCA is an acronym. and it stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. These are the four elements that describe the challenges and the framework of, conditions that leaders, managers, companies, nations, they have to overcome all of this in the modern world that we are in now. There is also what we call the Barney model. The Barney model, which describes a new world in which the old values and rules no longer apply. How many of us will say, okay, because I love trade by barter, I'm going to exchange shoes for bags. I'll be going to McDonald's and I will exchange my chocolate for a cup of juice. Is this still practice there? No, things have changed. So in the VUCA concept, everything is volatile. You cannot predict what will happen in the next moment. You cannot predict what will happen in the next second. Everything is uncertain. And then it's not just volatile and uncertain, it is complex. Now, you have ChatGPT, you have WhatsApp, you have Google Teams, you have Zoom, and so many others. If you are still living in the 13th century and you don't have all of this installed, we will not be able to have this meeting. Now, you see, not all disruptions are negative. I must let us know, because if this has not happened now, most of us that are gathering from various nations, we will not be able to gather. You can imagine somebody, I'm talking here, 4 p.m. Nigeria time, 4:43 Nigeria. Qatar is it a 5 or 6:43 in Qatar now, and then in India and Thailand and so many other places like that. The complexity of this VUCA world is the benefit that we are enjoying now. So it's not all the time it is negative, but we'll get to that. And then another thing is the ambivalency. It's not as simple as we think it is unless you learn it. When you learn it, it becomes simple. But if you don't learn it, it becomes very ambiguous. The artificial word, VUCA, it was founded in the 1980s. We cannot talk about VUCA without mentioning Warren Bennis and Bert Nanus. These two people, they were the ones that propounded this concept of the VUCA world, the concept of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. It describes the changing environment and their challenges. The concept offers a useful way to think about how we can be prepared and respond to unanticipated situations. I'm going to let us see this analysis here. The volatility is referring to the rate of change, how fast things are happening. One moment it is traditional banking, the next moment it is fintech. You see a lot of them out there now. You don't even have to open accounts with them before you transact. You don't even have to go to the bank. I can transact any amount from my table here, from my house. In fact, at a time, one of my colleagues was like, "Madam, do you go out at all?" I said, "Oh, why not?" Because everything I want to do, I can do it right on my desk. I can be anywhere in the world on my desk. That's the rate of change. And then the VUCA world is also talking about that uncertainty. Yes, these changes are coming, but will it be good for us or will it be bad? It depends on us. You will see whether it will be good or bad. But I say it's going to be good because we'll be very intentional. And that's why we are a corporate institute of strategic research. So the uncertainty aspect, it says it's unclear about the present. The complexity is looking at the multiple key decisions. Then the ambiguity is looking at the lack of clarity about meaning of an event. If Donald Trump comes, for instance, and says, okay, I'm slamming 20% on Canada, I'm slamming 30% on China, I'm slamming 10% on developing countries. Do you really have understanding? Are you clear where this is leading us? Are you clear where this is taking us to? So how much do you know about the situation? How well can you predict the outcome of some of these actions? So those are the things we are talking about when we say we're in a VUCA world. The origin and application of VUCA concept. VUCA was first introduced as an idea, like I said, in the late 1980s. And then it was introduced by the US Army War College, who used the concept to develop strategic leaders. In 1991, Herbert Barber officially used the term in his article in the Journal of Management Development titled Developing Strategic Leadership. So in developing strategic leadership, we must be able to simulate, like a lot of media, they have been showing the simulation of US Army on how they will enter Nigeria if the leadership of Nigeria do not take a proactive step. I'm using this because this is the latest in the world. You know, we've been talking about Ukraine, we've been talking about Russia, we've been talking about Gaza, we've been talking about Israel. The peace deals are done. So now the latest is Nigeria. That's why I'm using Nigeria. You know, so the US Army War College experience, they decided to develop, you know, strategies on how actions will take place. And then they simulate the outcome. If we do it this way, what will happen? If we do it that way, what will happen? You know, so there it was stated that the college derived these ideas from the book of Warren Bennis, I had mentioned before, and Bert Namos. So the strategies of taking charge is what we talk about when we are saying developing strategic leadership in a VUCA world. In Barber's article, it was established that the War College decided to use the VUCA acronym as a way to help their students, typically senior military officers. They characterize in 1979. And, you know, all this while, it's been simulations of the VUCA environment, and sometimes very, very hard to predict because ideologies, sometimes you might think you are fighting ideologies and it may not be ideologies, it may be something else. So now, how do we get resilient leadership in a VUCA world? The hallmark of resilient leaders lies in the capacity of the leaders to make sound decisions, even in high pressure situations. That means where there are challenges and things are changing fast, a resilient leader must be able to make sound decisions, no matter the pressure, no matter the situation. So the major strategies for a resilient leader or for resilient leadership in a VUCA world is number one, staying calm. Can you just stay calm? Think. Be informed as a leader. Be focused, and then make up your mind. Decide, because time is of essence. So we see this four now. The VUCA concept has four, and then the solution has four as well. A resilient leader must learn to be calm. Not everything you just react, volatility. Yes, you're in a volatile world, but you need to be calm. You need to be informed. Where is this coming from? Why is this happening now? If I say this, what will happen? If I take this action, what? Then you must stay focused. What are your plans as a leader? Whether you are leading a nation, or you are leading a company, or you are leading an institute, or you are a lecturer, you are teaching, you are leading a school, or you are leading a family, then you must be decisive. Take a decision. This enhances stability and inspire confidence among players and onlookers, because there are players and there are onlookers. Now, contrary to common minds that leadership resilience is a dynamic, contrary to the myth that leaders are born. You know, some people say leaders are born, but leaders can be made. You can learn it like we are doing now. We are learning leadership. That's what we are trying to do. And we're not just learning leadership. We are learning how to be resilient, leadership in a time like this, in this world that we are in now, where everything seems volatile, everything seems uncertain, everything is complex, and everything is kind of ambiguous. How do we demystify? So we can learn by getting ourselves some level of emotional regulations. It is not just being an innate leader. You can learn how to be emotionless and act when you need to act. So these skills could be applied in politics. They could be applied in the academic environment. They could be applied in the business world. They could be applied in formal institutions and informal sectors. I was doing an audit review and a holistic review by a particular sector in a particular industry in the private sector, and they've been controlling billions. They've been in business for about 30 years, and suddenly there was this introduction of devaluation of currency, cash crunch, and all of, and it wasn't funny. Almost everything, because they had taken loans running into billions of naira, and they had to take initially. In fact, the MD was telling me, said he cried for 1 year. I almost laughed. I said, okay, you didn't need to cry. You're not the only one going through the problem. About 700 and something organizations left this particular nation at that time when it happened. Over 700. But they are coming back now because, that country is bouncing back. Things are getting better against all odds. So the ability of leaders to be able to apply calmness, information, being focused, and decisiveness, those are the strategies that a resilient leader need to become a resilient, to be categorized as a resilient leader. So resilient leadership involves the ability to navigate the pressures of modern working life effectively, whether in the political, business, educational, or commerce world. According to research, resilient leaders possess key characteristics, and these are the characteristics, 3 major ones. Number 1, adaptability. A resilient leader must be able to adapt. In a world where change is constant, resilient leaders like you and I, resilient leaders in the making, must demonstrate an unparalleled ability to adapt. They must view change as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat. Hello, I want to echo this. A resilient leader must view change as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat, steering their teams through uncertainties with a forward-looking perspective. Most of the organizations I've led, they know. They say, Madam Kemi, once she comes, nothing is impossible. Everything is possible, because I will tell you it is possible. And believe me, we have grown. I have watched organizations that knew nothing. There was a particular one that was red when we did the review. Before the end of the project, the ED had already started having meetings with IMF world leader. So I don't believe in impossibility. You must be able to adapt. Then emotional intelligence. Resilient leaders possess a high degree of emotional intelligence. You see, whether it is human resource, whether it is accounting, whether it is engineering, whether it is, you must have some level of understanding in mind, because even if you're an engineer and you have a business of your own, you will be working with other people. So your ability to manage people, emotional intelligence. Don't say, no, in engineering, this is how we do it. Some people say, Madam Kemi, you're everywhere. I say, yes, I'm everywhere. I'm a miner. I'm an accountant. I'm a human resource person. I'm an economist. And I'm into medicine as well. So it will enable you to understand and manage both your own emotions and those of others. This heightened emotional awareness fosters effective communication. It enhances collaboration and builds strong relationships within organizational framework. Now, I'm not telling all of us to be everywhere. Yes, you can be in one place and still be managing people from various disciplines. You understand? It depends on your personality. But whether you are in one place or you are in multiple places, you must have emotional intelligence, ability to understand and manage your own emotions and other people's emotion. Then decision making under pressure. A resilient leader must be able to make the right decision, because whatever decision you make, it can either make or mar other people's life. So the hallmark of resilient leaders lies in their capability to make sound decisions, even in high pressure situations. Still, by staying calm, focused, and decisive, they contribute to organizational stability. Now, the impact that these characteristics produce is that resilient leaders have a positive influence on their teams. They have a positive influence on organizations. And according to strategic leaders, the long-term benefits include increased people engagement, higher productivity, more innovative skills, adaptive culture, or way of doing things. So in terms of change, resilient leadership becomes a driving force for overcoming challenges and steering the work towards success. So there are other characteristics of resilient leaders here: developing appealing vision, awareness creation, growth mindset, and embracing the dynamics of individual characteristics, the team dynamics, collective dynamics. So it's about people, people, people. To be a resilient leader, who am I? Who is the president of US? The personality of the president of US, the team dynamics of Republicans, and what is the world saying? You understand? And what are the resources, for instance? And then resilient leadership in a business setting in the current VUCA world. Developing a good understanding of VUCA can help modern leaders, especially those that are in business. So it helps them in this rapidly changing landscape in the current business world. It's important that those leaders understand the expectation that is placed on them to ensure they have the abilities and mindset to adapt to any challenge. So aside from helping to prepare leaders, VUCA can act as a checklist of the key factors an organization should be considering with their decision making. We have the various checklists. So lastly, resilient leadership over nations. To mitigate against global disruptions, leaders, especially of developing countries, who are always the major victims, they must be ready to do certain things. Whether it is pandemic or AI or tsunami or wars, developing countries, they are usually major victims. So the leaders of developing nations must be intentional, ready to defend and fight for their resources. They must build very strong and inclusive human capital, men, women, youth, children, people living with disabilities and legal groups, safeguard minerals and natural resources, solve the problem of unemployment, especially youth unemployment, through provision of education, and then institutionalize, this is where we are going now in our group discussion, institutionalize major issues and provide expert solutions, especially in technology and AI. And lastly, safeguard their border territories and prevent internal security. So thank you. Let us talk. Thank you. So are we breaking into groups, or we will just, how do you want us to do it, moderator?
Okay, you want a group discussion?
Yes, that is that was the plan. I don't know if it has changed.
Because for the questions and answer, because now we have spent 30 minutes on this, and
Okay.
for the question and answer, I think participants can ask questions, because like we have some of the award participants who are going to also present, and we have other two speakers making like 6-7 presentations today. So I am not very sure we'll be able to have a breakout for today.
Like we had on the platform, that we will have a 30-minute presentation and then 15 minutes breakout session. Okay.
Yeah, okay, I can understand the breakout session, but I think anyone that needs to ask a question, we're going to entertain question after other speakers also make their presentation.
Okay.
Then we can have sessions for questions and answer.
Beautiful.
So you can please round up, Doctor. Thank you very much, ma'am.
So thank you very much. That will be it from here. Thank you.
Okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe you have any concluding speech.
So that is
Doctor?
just to say that where do we go from here as researchers? The institutionalization of resilience and resilient leadership in our various, in different sectors. Where do we go from here? How do we go about it as researchers? Institutionalizing resilience and resilient leadership in various sectors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for that great presentation. And like I've told you, you have to be prepared for today's presentation because we have distinguished keynote speakers who are going to be taking us through um, global, what global sustainability has got to do with us. And you know, if you had listened carefully to Dr. Olukemi, she was able to tell us the attributes of good leaders, and she laid so much emphasis on being a resilient leader. She talked about the fact that you have to be intentional with whatever you're doing as a great leader, and she dwelled further onto the global crisis with Nigeria and other countries. And I must say, you've got so many questions for her, but because of the time, we'll wait till time for the questions and answer sessions. Then we can be able to ask our questions. Thank you so much, Dr. Dr. Olukemi Akimusure, for that brilliant and beautiful presentation. We are indeed very grateful for your time with us, and we celebrate you all the time. She's the vice chairman too for CISR Nigeria. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Going by, yeah, you're most welcome. Going by our agenda, we have the next presenter to be, I can't see him on, do we have Prof. Adesope here? Admin, can you please check out for him if he's online? And please signify, Prof, if you are here. Okay, is he here?
I don't think so. I don't think I have the name here.
Okay. If he's going to join us later, we can as well move forward. Do we have Dr. Bensal here? Can you please check out for me?
Okay.
So if you are just joining us, you're most welcome to the 3-day virtual workshop organized by the CISR, partners of Global Center for Advanced Strategic Research UK. And the first 2 days shall be the virtual workshop. And the third day, which is going to be the physical, shall be happening at Ayat's Regency in Qatar, which is coming up on the 14th of November, this coming Friday. So if you are within Qatar, we will be glad to invite you, and you can be our guest for the day. Thank you so much. So is he here now?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe we should go to the next presenter.
Okay, the next presenter is Dr. Bensal. Is he here? No. Okay. If none of them is here, I think is Dr. Victoria online? Dr. Victoria, are you here? Because I saw her message the other time. Okay.
Yes, she's online. She said, yes, I'm online.
Okay.
On the chat box.
Can you just please give us an additional point for just 5 minutes about CISR? Dr. Victoria, please. Kindly check if she's still online. Okay, if she's not
Okay.
online,
She said she's muted. We need to unmute her. Let's check.
okay,
See.
kindly do the needful. Kindly unmute her, please.
Okay, you can have the floor now, Dr. Victoria.
All right, good evening, everyone. From here in Nigeria, it's about 5:08, and I think it's about 7:08 or 7:09 in Qatar. On behalf of the president, he asked me to give this as his opening speech since he's on transit. On behalf of the president, the governing council, CISR Global, we want to welcome everyone who are part of this 3 days impactful workshop in Doha, Qatar. Thank you very much, Idaya Entrepreneur, Dr. Idayat, Dr. Abdul Salam. Thank you so much. So good to see you. Dr. Slim, you're not looking bad at all.
Thank
So
you.
nice to see you, man.
Nice to see you too, Doctor.
Going forward, I want to welcome everyone to this year's, it's more like our International Strategic Convention and our global conference. We decided to host it this year in Qatar. And it's a platform where we get to not just network, we get to share like minds. It's a professional platform where we get to showcase and also come together to see how we could, just like Dr. Akim Musure told us this evening, we look at the aspect of the VUCA and see how we can navigate global disruptions so that we can have sustainable development within Africa and globally. So going forward, I know we have um, two research candidates who are coming in for the doctoral research, making their presentations this evening. I saw, is it Peter Beckham or something like that? I think it was to make his presentation. It's not online. But before he makes his presentation, we have our lead researcher in the house, in person of Dr. Daniel Moriah. He actually took us on a training in terms of the presentations with our research work for those who are coming in as research candidates to be inducted. So I just want to say that before they start making their presentations, bear in mind that you needed to have put up your PowerPoint presentation in the way and manner you were actually advised to do. And you also be reviewed in the process of you doing your presentation this evening. And also, if there are corrections to be done before before publication, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Victoria. Nice seeing you, hearing from you again. She has been able to also enlighten us more as regards the presentation for tonight. Do not think this is all a joke. No, We have a lot of people online to checkmate how and what you are going to be presenting today. So please, I want to implore all our presenters to take this seriously, and I'm sure you're prepared. So nothing to really fear about. Thank you so much, Dr. Victoria. So my first presenter for today, one of the doctoral awardee candidates. He is a chartered safety and health professional in Qatar. And he also holds an MBA with a specialization in health and safety leadership with a BSc honor in botany. He also possesses a strong technical foundation complemented by numerous professional certifications, including CIQ Level 7 postgrad, extended diploma in health and safety leadership. He has accrued so many certifications in his name. Without any further ado, permits me to introduce and to welcome to this virtual program for his doctoral award presentation in person of Stephen Francis Obogo. You're most welcome to this virtual podium, and you can please have the virtual podium and make your presentation for today. It shall be discussing about the impact of transformational leadership on occupational health, safety, and environmental regulatory compliance in the Qatari construction sector. You're most welcome, Stephen Francis Obogo. Thank you for joining us for today. You can please have the podium. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this great opportunity to do this today. Like you have introduced me, I wouldn't want to waste much time on this slide. And as well, the topic for today's presentation, which is part of my research, is the impact of transformational leadership on occupational health, safety, and environmental regulation compliance in the Qatari construction sector. Going forward, the introduction of this research presentation today, it's about the Qatar construction industry. And as we all know, the industry has expanded significantly during the last 20 years, and especially during the preparation for the FIFA World Cup 2022. And this development is in line with the Qatar strategic objective, which include diversifying their country's economy away from its conventional reliance on oil and gas. As a result, this industry has faced significant occupational health, safety, and environmental challenges. However, ensuring compliance with occupational health and safety regulation is one area that is critical for the safeguarding of workers and maintaining project efficiency. With the word transformational leadership, I found out that it is characterized by vision, inspiration, and individualized consideration. This has been widely studied and has emerged as a pivotal factor influencing safety compliance by several researchers, as seen in my slide here. And their study concluded that transformational leaders foster a positive climate, safety climate rather, by motivating employees to prioritize safety behavior and adhere to safety regulation. Now, for my research, the aim of this research was to investigate the relationship between transformational leadership and occupational health, safety, and environmental regulatory compliance within the Qatar construction sector. And one of the objectives is to understand how transformational leadership behavior contributes to occupational health, safety, and environmental compliance within the same Qatar construction industry, and also to understand the current occupational health and safety and environmental compliance practice within same industry in Qatar. And in my literature review, Brown et al., in their study, they found out that transformational leadership influenced safety performance by shaping behavior and enhanced compliance dynamics. Tractor et al. In 2023 concluded that transformational leadership has a positive impact on safety and health climate, thereby enhancing employee engagement and compliance with safety regulation. Transformational leadership intervention can enhance job satisfaction, create more favorable safety environments, crucial for occupational health and safety compliance. This research was carried out by Mullen in 2024. Then the impact of transformational leadership on safety compliance revealed that transformational leadership has a positive influence on safety compliance through employee passive obligation. This research was carried out by Wu et al. 2022. Going forward, the methodology that was used in this research and the data collection was an empirical qualitative research method where several articles, or several study and case analysis were deployed and employed. And the data collection source were secondary source, which is the published articles and some other valuable information gotten from the internet website. That is how I got my data. And the findings from this analysis, which of my research, I was able to find some empirical evidence that increased compliance can be done through motivation and obligation, which is one of the characteristics transformational leadership leaders exhibit. Okay, and to some extent, when transformational leaders, try to bring in all their characteristics within the employees, so there might be some issue of increased risk tolerance, because sometimes employee might over, sometimes they just they will just work with overconfidence, believing that all is well. In most cases, this might increase risk tolerance, and once the risk tolerance increases, this might drop compliance level to a certain extent. And also, there are also some contingent rule of safety climate, which means if the climate or the safety climate within an organization is very low, this also might lead, likely to lead to reduced compliance rate within such an organization. Irrespective of this empirical evidence, which was gotten from my findings, there is an existing challenges within this construction industry in Qatar, like the rapid modernization and regulatory changes. This exists within the Qatar industry, and expatriate workforce and cultural diversity. We know Qatar has over about 94% of its workforce as foreign nationals, and over 60% of them are within the construction industry. So they face these challenges of cultural diversity, language barrier, and all that. And also, one of those things that affect this industry is the kafala system and its reform. What we mean by the kafala system is a kind of sponsorship system that exists within most of the Gulf region, and Qatar is not an exception of this on the kafala system. Part of the challenges also for the transformational leaders in Qatar construction industry, it's one of what we call the evolving regulatory and technological integration. Because in the construction industry, we found out that there are a lot of integration between the building information management, Internet of Things, the artificial intelligence, and all forms of technology to transformational leaders within this industry. And also, we have this cultural resistance to change, by dealing with from different background, nationality, and all that. This can also reduce transformational leaders' efforts, to improve safety and culture. This was from Redhouse et al. In 2021. And also the fear of legal repercussion. So, fear of fine, imprisonment, and deportation, because in this part of the world that we are, we know the implication for those of us who work in the construction industry. So we know when there's an accident, when there's a fatality, we know what happens. So most of the time, the workers, they are afraid, to communicate this with the transformational, with any good leaders who have this transformational behavior. And this might in turn affect and bring challenges to a transformational leader within the management of health and safety in the construction sector, and also the impact of the leadership style itself. Sometimes when you try to meet your characteristics as a transformational leader, sometimes some employee misinterpret this kind of encouragement, for risk taking. This research found by Ezekwesili in 2023, and also employee perception of safety climate. So most times, if an employee perceives safety climate, they have this kind of low perception of safety climate, this tends to increase the risk tolerance. They tolerate the risk to the extent that it ends up reducing the compliance rate, which a transformational leader is trying to improve within such an organization. This was concluded by Khan in 2023 in his research. And irrespective of these challenges, the transformational leaders could face within the Qatar construction industry, there are bounds of opportunity which came up from several researchers, which they found out that transformational leaders mitigate risks by prioritizing workers' well-being and fostering teamwork for safety. And also, transformational leaders enhances employees' motivation and performance in Qatar's public sector. And also, transformational leader boosts safety compliance, partly by creating favorable safety climate within organization, and also they improve safety behavior by fostering a culture of proactive engagement with regulations. And also combining transformational leadership and transactional leadership, according to Wang Eta, Sankar, and Anand in 2024, they found out that when you combine both TFL and transactional leadership, this strengthens safety climate, and team perception about safety generally. And also, N et al. And in 2019, they found out that transformational leaders support resilience and adaptability, and they also help in mobilizing employee effort for better transactional leaders. And in my conclusion of my research work, I was able to come up that transformational leaders or leadership is crucial for occupational health, safety, and environmental compliance in Qatar construction industry, irrespective of its challenges, as effective leaders require employee engagement, clear communication, and continuous feedback to overcome these challenges. By leveraging transformational leadership, 4 core dimensions, it enhances proactive safety, innovation, compliance, and promoting sustainable development and workers' welfare amid dynamic industry demand. And for my recommendation is investing in employee development and mentoring. We also cultivate team and collaborative collective responsibility rather, and also communicate vision and integrate robust safety procedure, and also recognize achievement. We need to recognize the achievement of workers. We have to encourage them. We need to get a feedback from them, and we need to encourage them in terms of we have to give them reward for compliance. Which is being done, especially in this part of the world that we are. When we see a lot of workers or employees that they comply to safety, we tend up to encourage them to able to achieve more compliance rate within several organizations. And how this research guarantees solution is transformational leadership align compliance with intrinsic motivation, not just others, and creates a sustainable shift in behavior, not just temporary enforcement. The future and call to action. For Qatar and similar economy, the path forward is clear. Strong safety culture begins with leadership. When safety leaders set the tone through their action and priorities, employees follow suit by creating a workplace where safety is second nature. For us, what leadership behavior will you champion for a safer and more sustainable industry? Thank you very much for listening to me. And these are my references with respect to my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen Francis Obogo. That was a brilliant presentation from you, and I am sure we have the CISR is here. They have listened to you, and okay, where's this one? And you had listened to Dr. Stephen Francis. He talked about transformational leaders, the ability for every potential leader to be attentive. And it's not all about giving orders. You should have a listening ear. You should have the interest, the welfare of your employees at heart. And of course, you should be able to discharge your duties as required as the head of an organization. Thank you very much for that brilliant presentation. And before I will move to...
Can I stop sharing?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Before I call on the next speaker, I would like Dr. Maria Daniel to please join us on this virtual podium to give us an insight about the research he has engaged in for a while now. He's a great member of the CISR Nigeria, and he's a great researcher also. So we would like him to also share with us for like 5-10 minutes the researches he has been on for a while now. Thank you so much, Dr. Daniel. Can you please unmute yourself? Dr. Daniel, are you here? Hello? Dr. Daniel? Admin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Is Dr. Daniel still here? Dr. Victoria, please, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, ma'am.
Please,
I'm
Dr.
here.
Dr. Daniel, can we locate him, please?
Okay, I think maybe his network was here some minutes ago. I guess his network disconnected him. Okay, he is actually part of the research review team that is to review the presentations of other research candidates. Like he was to review, I thought he was still around. He was to review Mr. Stevens' presentation, what he just presented, most especially based on the PowerPoint presentation. So I think that's the angle he was to review it from. Okay, but since he's not around at the moment, I guess if he joins us later, maybe when he's reviewing that of the next person, he might make reference to that of Mr. Stevens. So I guess we can go ahead because of time.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Victoria.
Yes,
thank you so much. So the next person to present for today. Okay. Peter Bickham, Zambia. Okay. Okay, so the next presenter for the doctoral award is actually from Cameroon. And he speaks, okay, let me come on video. Okay. He speaks English and French fluently. That's amazing. And he obtained his first school leaving certificate in 1996 from the Catholic school Ikata, Mayuka, and advanced to the GCE advanced level in 2003. He is also health and safety in Qatar, and he has Health and Safety Leadership at Cambridge International Qualification, UK in 2023. Diploma in Occupational Health and Safety, Level 6, UK in 2022. NEBOSH, UK in 2015. Lead Auditor, and it has so many certifications to his name, and it has Masters in Business Administration in Health and Safety Leadership from St. Anthony Catholic University in Spain. That was in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, standing on the existing protocol permits me to welcome to this great virtual podium no other person but Dr. Peter Bikam Tambe, as he makes his presentation on the critical analysis of safety culture in Qatar construction industry. Thank you very much for joining us today, Dr. Peter. Can you please unmute yourself and make do with your presentation, please? Thank you very much. Can you please unmute him? Okay, he's unmuted.
I'm trying to share my screen. I'm having some issues.
Okay.
Can you share from your end? I'm having some issues sharing.
Okay, admin, are you here? Can you help out? Because you are not a co-host, so you can share conveniently, unless there's a network issue from your side. You just click on share down and you'll be able to share. So Dr. Pista shall be talking about the critical analysis of safety culture in the Qatar construction industry. So if you are just joining us, it's been a great moment here. Please let me know when you are ready. Admin, can you also help out?
Can you see my screen now?
Not yet. Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
You already introduced me. My name is Peter Bechem Tambe. I am from Cameroon. So I possess a lot of certification in HSC, and I have more than 15 years of working experience. So I'll be talking on a critical analysis of safety culture in Qatar construction industry. So regarding the agenda of my presentation, I put them in steps. The first one is, what is safety culture and what are the benefits of safety culture in an organization? Then I talk about the problem statement. There's a gap, why I had to do the research, objectives of the research questions, the methodology overview, key findings, key insight, gaps from the findings, recommendation and conclusion, then the references. So regarding step one, I define what is safety culture. Safety culture is a collective attitude, practices, and behaviors that determine how safety is prioritized, managed, and integrated across all levels of the organization. So why I choose this topic is I had a lot of worries when I was working. In my profession, I see several companies, they have a lot of management issues. So I started going through to study the workers and other things. So I get a lot of diverse response from them. So I try to check all the safety cultures of various companies. So I had to go to 30 different companies and I interview about 60 workers to get their view regarding this. So next, I talk about what are the benefits of safety culture in the construction industry in Qatar. A strong safety culture reduces accident, delays, and costs by promoting proactive hazard control, regulatory compliance, and efficient project delivery. It also strengthens workforce morale, leadership accountability, and corporate reputation through continuous learning and safety innovation. So, what does this mean? It means a positive safety culture, if they are following all the rules and regulations that is being put forward, not only in writing, but in practice, it is going to reduce cost, accident, and so many things that is going to enhance profitability in that particular company or industry. Step two, the problem statement, the gaps. So the reasons why I go through this particular research, I discovered that there was a lot of accident, despite having a comprehensive safety procedures, regulations, and policies. The construction industry still continues to experience a significant level of accident rate. So also, I discovered that there is a gap. Why there are several studies I have examined about safety management system in Qatar construction industry. There is limited research focusing specifically on the influence of safety culture on workers' behavior and accident occurrence. So these gaps highlight the need to analyze safety culture and more deeply within the construction context. So while I go through several studies, I realized that they are not really give what I really needed, like safety culture being analyzed properly. So I had to go through this research. Are you getting me? Hello?
Yes, we are with you. We are with you.
Okay. Objectives of the research. So the main objective of this research is to establish the importance of safety culture in improving safety performance. Also identify and examine the key indicators of safety culture relevant to Qatar construction industry. So according to these key indicators of safety culture, there were 20 indicators, which I'm going to analyze below. There were 20 indicators, which I may mention. You have safety training, low rate of absenteeism, sick leaves, proper documentation of safety programs, active participation and involvement of employees, reward and punishment, availability of competent safety professional, safety audit and inspection, hazard identification and risk assessment, awareness of safety responsibility, low accident rate, absence of blame culture, teamwork, incident reporting and investigation, timely implementation of corrective action, management commitment and engagement, job satisfaction, employee motivation, effective communication, safety budget and finance, safety leadership at all levels. So those are the key indicators that I use as my objective for the research. So I also came up with certain questions. So what are the main indicators of safety culture, which I already mentioned? How can these indicators be used to evaluate safety culture in Qatar construction industries? So these 20 indicators, how can we use it to really evaluate the safety culture in Qatar construction industry? Step 5, methodology overview. So the design I use is quantitative descriptive study, because this was a little bit easy because I can take a sample and I make it to be a whole. I can get just a sample and I can generalize it very easily. That is why I use the quantitative descriptive study. Then sample, I had to make a sample of 60 respondents from 30 different construction industry. And there were 20 questionnaires which was talking about the indicators of safety culture. So I came up with 20 questionnaires to the respondent. Then the analysis was, each indicator was rated using 4-point liking scale to measure the extent of implementation with respondent company. That is, this liking scale is starting from strongly disagree, slightly agree, and strongly agree. So this is a scale. I use this scale to try to come up with percentages of the workers, what they are, their perception regarding safety culture. So this was really a little bit easy for me to get this result. Then also, how can I check how to rank this result? I have to come up with a relative important index. So this one is going to show how I'm going to rank these indicators from the most important to the least, according to the respondent how they respond to what the question I was asking. So after going through this liking scale, I discovered that most of the workers, there was a strong area of these indicators. These strong areas were safety training, documentation, audit, and teamwork. So I discovered that about 55 to 75% of the worker agree that there is a good safety training, documentation, audit, and teamwork. So less than 45% disagree. So that was okay for me. Then the weak areas was leadership. That baffled me, that leadership was very weak. Then budgeting, that is safety budget is being taken to another activities and so on in the project. Then communication, there was a little bit of communication barrier and so on. Then motivation, that's workers are not motivated, like giving incentives and other things to support the workers. Then I had a mixed result regarding job satisfaction. Some were okay, there was a 50-50%. Then blame culture, management commitment. So this one was just disagreement was 50-50%. Then key indicators of safety culture rank according to relative important index. So this relative important index, these are the rank of the indicators, and this is the relative important index below. So in this relative important index, after the calculation, I realized that safety training is the highest of it, then followed by low rate of absenteeism, sick leaves. Next, proper documentation of safety programs, active participation and involvement of all employees, reward and punishment, availability of competent safety professionals, safety audit and inspection, hazard identification and risk assessment, awareness of safety responsibilities, low accident rates, absence of blame culture, teamwork, incident reporting and investigation, timely implementation of corrective action, management commitment and engagement, job satisfaction, employee motivation, effective communication, safety budget and finance, safety leadership at all levels. So my worry here was after the rank, I discovered that leadership was very low at this below. So what was the problem? So that's why I had to go more harder to check what is the issue with certain companies. So I want to give one example of one of my subcontractors. I was moving some of the engineers on site. I realized that there was a disagreement with the workers, and when the workers were coming during break, the engineers were running. I said, what is the problem? They told me that they have not paid them salary for about 3 months. So I tried to see that those are some of the issues of leadership. There is a problem with the leadership. So I had to go through several companies to find out what is the issue regarding this safety culture, which is being hindered by leadership. That's a weak leadership. Step 7, key insight gaps from the finding. So there was a visible leadership on safety. The visible leadership on safety remains limited despite strong policy frameworks. Training is effective, but poor communication and insufficient budget constraint. Employee participation is improving, yet blame culture and weak motivation persist. Safety is still viewed as management responsibility only. Reactive reporting culture, fear of blame, limited empowerment of frontline staff, weak knowledge sharing between project to benchmark. So these are some of the gaps of the finding. So you discover that there is a weak knowledge sharing amongst projects. If you share the knowledge within the project, you can see that you can benchmark if your project is doing well or not doing well. So you can benchmark with other companies, which I discovered that it is not happening. Then also they don't empower the frontline staffs. So those are the gaps that I got from the findings. So I came up with recommendations. The recommendations are increase management presence, site engagement, and integrate safety metrics into performance review. Deliver continuous, multilingual, rule-specific safety programs and behavior workshops. Allocate dedicated funding for safety initiative and embedded safety in all project phases. Encourage fair reporting and reward proactive safety behavior. Use multilingual campaigns to promote inclusive and shared safety values. So these are the recommendations in order to get a good safety culture, a positive safety culture, and not a negative safety culture in all the industry in Qatar. So some of these are the references that I came up. You can check the references from the Ministry of Municipality regarding the Qatar construction specification. There is also that of Sunisi, safety improvement in building construction. Then you have that of Qatar National Vision 2030. You have that of the Supreme Council of Delivery and Legacy regarding the FIFA World Cup. Then this one is for the Gulf region. That's the reference for the Gulf region, which was done by Wahel. Safety culture transformation in Gulf construction, a leadership perspective. So these are some of the references. So thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tande, for that great presentation. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Tambe was able to tell us about the safety measures, the protocols you need to put in place when it comes to construction in Qatar. It's all about Qatar tonight, and that's why we are celebrating here in Qatar today, and we'll continue to celebrate. Tomorrow is an extension, and of course, on Friday, it is the real physical celebration. Thank you so much for that great presentation. And I would also like to make, is Dr. Daniel here now? Is Dr. Daniel here? Okay, please, if he's here, let me know, please, so that I can call him. Why am I not? Okay, so, okay, he's here, okay. Can you please make him a co-host? Admin, please. Dr. Daniel Moria is here. Can you please make him a co-host also? The next speaker, please hold on. A few minutes, please. Dr. Daniel is going to speak with us for like 5-10 minutes. Can you please make him a co-host? I'm trying to. Okay, ask him. Dr. Daniel, you can unmute yourself now. Okay, good.
All right. Thank you so much. So sorry. I had network glitches at my end, and I left the call at a time. Congratulations to the presenters so far. You've done so well. However, for this last presenter, there's one question I needed to ask, because I saw that you said you had 60 respondents from 30. Oh, is it that you had 2 persons manage it? Hello, can you hear me?
Doctor. Yes, I can hear you.
The network is breaking on my side.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, doctor.
Okay, fine. You said you had 60 respondents spread across 30 companies or construction sites. So I was wondering if you picked 2 per construction site, and what led to that decision?
I did not get your question well, doctor. Can you
hear me now?
Yes, put your question. I did not get you well.
What I was asking is, when you were talking about the respondents, you said you had 60 respondents and they were spread across 30 construction company or sites. So I was wondering, is it that you made it 2 respondents per company or construction site, and what led to that decision?
Yes, actually, we have so many subcontractors in our company. So it was easy for me to do that because we have different construction sites. We have about 40 different subcontractors. So, and they are coming also with other subcontractors inside the subcontractors. There are subcontractors that are contracting other subcontractors. So from there, I'm getting data from them. Maybe in one subcontractor they are having about 3 other subcontractors. So it was easy for me to get from their supervisors, from the engineers, like that. So
All right,
I had
thank
to
you very
come
much.
up
That
with
means
this.
you had, so what was the total population of your study?
60 respondents. I go through 60.
That's the sample you use. But so what was the total population?
The total population?
Yes.
Yeah, I can put it for about 150. So that's the population regarding that.
150. All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
More than 150. More than.
I just wanted to have that clarity about why it had to be 60 spread across 30 construction sites. Okay, thank you very much, and well done for your PowerPoint slide deck. It was quite good. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Doctor.
All right, so that's my observation and comment for now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Daniel, for that observation and contribution, and appreciation to also, my appreciation also goes to Dr. Peter for that great presentation. Well done. Without any further
Thank you,
ado, I will need to move to the next presenter for tonight. So our next presenter is also from Cameroon, and he holds a postgraduate diploma from University of Estate Management, UK, Masters in Business Administration, Masters in Business Administration, and he also holds an executive education certification in leadership from Harvard University. He is also a project management professional, certified project management analyst. He has so many certificates, I can't even mention all. But beyond his professional career, my next presenter is a community builder. He's a pioneer member of the Cameroonian diaspora community in Qatar, a non-profit organization where major objective is to work and safeguard the interests of all Cameroonians taking residence or visiting Qatar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this great virtual podium as he makes his presentation for tonight, Dr. Buba Bertrand. Dr. Buba Bertrand, you're most welcome. He's a project management consultant here in Qatar, and he shall be talking to us about evaluating the effectiveness of agile methodologies in traditional industries, its implications for project performance in Qatar. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Buba Bertrand. Can you have the podium, please? Thank you.
Okay, driving license.
Can you please unmute yourself? Dr. Buba? Okay, Buba Bernard. You can please unmute yourself now.
Okay, I can get it. Good evening to you all. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for that introduction, Doctor. Thank you for giving me 10 minutes of your destiny to present a tip of my submission to you all. My name is Buba Bertrand from Cameroon. Are you getting me, please?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, my name is Buba, and I'll be talking to you about evaluating agile methodologies in traditional industries, implications for project performance in Qatar. Otherwise, the topic can be rephrased as assessing the impact of agile practices on project success in conventional sectors, evidence from Qatar, or adoption and effectiveness of agile frameworks in Qatar's traditional business environment, a study on project performance. Now, the objective of the study was intended to evaluate the effectiveness of agile methodologies in traditional industries with a focus on Qatar's construction sector. It was also to assess the impact of agile approaches on project outcomes, identify implementation challenges, and examine how construction firms adapt agile practices to their organizational and project context, and then provide actionable insights and evidence-based recommendation. The recommendation which will serve as a guide to make informed decisions on whether or not to implement agile. Now, excuse, I got cold actually, so I'll be distracting you from time to time. I'm sorry about that. Prior to 2022, the Qatar construction industry was facing a lot of delays cost overruns, declining profit margins, high injuries, waste, rework, declining productivity. This was because they were using what referred to as traditional methodology, which is otherwise called waterfall, which is a linear and sequential approach to project and product management. In fact, the environment of traditional project management system, permit me use the word of Dr. Olukemi, the environment of traditional project management is VUCA, I would say, compared to Agile. Now, what is this Agile? Agile is a project management and product development approach which lay emphasis on flexibility, collaboration, and customer satisfaction. It was initially developed for software development, but as time went on, there was the need to see if such methodologies or philosophies can be applicable to the construction sector. And so lean construction was born. Now, lean construction is a framework of Agile. So as we go ahead, I will be talking about lean. Now, to proceed, we will need to first of all understand the differences between the traditional or waterfall approach and the Agile methodology. Now, the first point we noted is that with traditional or waterfall approach, it is sequential or phase-gated. That means, for example, if we have a construction project, generally with a construction project, we will have the design phase, the engineering phase, the procurement phase, the construction phase, the execution phase, the closeout phase, and testing and commissioning. Now, with this traditional method of project management, for each, there is this sequential approach. When you finish from one, before you move to the other, so to say that you must complete design to move to procurement. You must finish with procurement to move to construction. You must finish from construction to move to testing and commissioning, just like that. Now, with the Agile methodology, it doesn't work like that. You do not necessarily need to finish one phase completely before you move to the other phase. This is because there could be a problem. So with Agile, once you finish with one stage, you have to test. You check with the client to see if it meets with the requirements before you move to another stage. Now, another difference between the traditional and the Agile project management is that requirements are defined upfront and remain stable. That is for traditional. For the Agile welcomes change at every stage of the project lifecycle. Again, with Agile, requirements are defined, scope is defined, specification is defined, material is noted at the beginning of the project before it starts. Now, with Agile, there is room for change. The customer or the client can decide to make some changes, and this change should be welcome. The third difference is testing occurs after execution phase, contrary to Agile, where testing is continuous. Now, if, say, we want to build or manufacture a laptop, for instance, when we produce the keyboard, we have to do testing, do quality check, sit with the client to check if it meets with what they want. Then we can move to building the entire keyboard. But with traditional methodology, you have to build the laptop completely before presenting it to the client. The fourth difference is the inflexibility to change once a phase is completed. Once a phase is completed with traditional methodology approach, it is almost impossible to make changes. On the other hand, Agile is adaptable and welcomes change at every given point. The fifth difference is there is heavy reliance on initial planning and accuracy. Meanwhile, Agile focuses on collaboration and feedback. In fact, collaboration is the hallmark of Agile methodology because at every given stage, at every given point in time, you have to collaborate, to discuss, to interact with the clients, the consultants, and all other stakeholders to be on the same page at every given point in time. Summarily, I would say that traditional project management system assume a waterfall sequence with requirements clearly foreseen at the project's initial stage, while providing steadiness, structure, and systematic documentation. Traditional methodology lacks flexibility and adaptability. In contrast, Agile project management systems are grounded on flexibility, adaptability, and customer-centric disposition. Now, by 2001, when these Agile methodologies took effect, a group of engineers were the ones that developed some core values. They said these core values include individuals' interaction is key in Agile methodology. Customer collaboration is key to the success of a project. Working solutions also, and then responding to change. Now, out of these 4 core values, customer collaboration and responding to change, these are, because this, as I said at the initial stage, that this manifesto was developed initially for software industry. But as time went on, the construction experts saw that it is possible to implement, if not all, some of these core values within the context of construction. So out of these 4, customer collaboration and responding to change is key to construction. Now, collaborative planning is a subset of Lean. And I said Lean is a framework of Agile. What is this collaborative planning? It is a method, it's a process whereby all stakeholders of a project, the consultant, the contractor, the client, they come together and develop a plan. Usually this plan is 12 weeks, otherwise 3 months, on how they could carry out part or all of the project. Now, every 6 weeks or every 3 months, this plan is updated. Once this 12-week look-ahead plan or 12-week target plan, otherwise called, is developed, the first 4 weeks is taken from it to be monitored. Out of these 4 weeks, again, 1 week of that 4 week is taken to be monitored. And out of this 1 week, there is what they call daily production review, where all of these stakeholders come together, sit, and then look at what was done yesterday, what was not done, which was planned, what is needed as time the next day or even the same day. Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you.
Is my screen still visible? Please.
No, your screen is up,
Okay.
or your image is not on there.
Okay, let me share it here.
Okay. Is it the network or what is happening
I
from your side?
actually cannot understand.
Okay, you can just. Are you almost done because you have like less than 5 minutes more?
Yes, I'm almost done.
Okay.
Is it visible now?
Yes. Yes, it is visible. It is visible.
Okay. Sorry once again. Now, once this, I will share this. Once this collaborative planning is done, because it's all about collaboration, they move to the next step, what is called drums readiness. What is this drums readiness all about? It is to identify hurdles. It is to identify reason why the plan cannot be achieved. And now the reasons could be related to design, resource, access, material, plant, permit, and safety. For instance, if we need to execute the 4-week look ahead plan or the 12-week look ahead plan or even the daily plan, the question we will ask, we go to design, is the design information confirmed and available? Now, if you see this, check the photo here, you will see that this is made up of the contractor. The contractor is here. I was working with the contractor at the time. The consultant is there, and then the client is also there. Now, they are checking, we are collaborating amongst ourselves to see if this plan that we have is feasible, if it can be achieved, and the reason why it cannot be achieved. And like I said, the reason could be related to design, to drums, so to speak. And now within the contractor, we have the design team. So the question will be the plan you have put here, say that we need to do excavation. Is the design or the drawings available? So the design manager or the design team will be there to answer that question. And if it's not available, they should make readily available this document. That is how it's applicable for all of the drums. Now, like I said, this is all about lean construction, which with the intention to provide value for the customer, to eliminate waste. This is the reason why we have this meeting, so that faults, hurdles are discovered early in the project and then it's resolved. Now, to eliminate waste, we have different kinds of wastes. The acronym referred to as TIMWOODS. It means the waste could be related to transportation, to inventory, to motion, to waiting, to overproduction, overprocessing, safety, and defects. Now, let us go to I'll take just one example there. Let's go to motion, for instance. Now, you are doing excavation on a site that measures, say, 500 square kilometer, for instance, and your washroom for labor is far off from the working site, the spot where they are working. Now, if each worker has to go to the bathroom, say 3 times a day, and cover 100 kilometers to go there, how much losses are you going to make? How will this waste be eliminated? It is advisable that this washroom be built almost closer to the working environment, so that it will take less time for a worker to get to the bathroom and come back. This is how waste are eliminated, and is applicable for other team woods. The intention also for lean construction is to add value to the customer. And then there is the need for continuous improvement. Now, if we want to manufacture a laptop, I'll go back to the same example. We have to, if we do the dashboard or any component of it, we have to sit with the client and then get feedback from the client, and then try to do improvement in the next laptop that we want to manufacture, instead of manufacturing 100 laptops before presenting to the client, as in the case with traditional methodology. Now, key benefits of Agile is that there is quicker delivery and flexibility. There is enhanced collaboration. There is improved risk. When people meet quite often, the problems are noted quite early, and then they are solved before it becomes worse in a manner that would damage the project. There is also increased customer satisfaction. Of course, when we keep meeting with customers, we get to know what they want, and we produce or deliver just what they want. And then, of course, there is improved quality. Now, I happened to have conducted this research. I belong to a group of construction personnel with over 501 persons. Now, there were questions that were sent to them in a Google form to respond about the impacts of Agile methodologies in Qatar. Out of this 501 sample size, I got 311 response. Out of this 311 response, 85% said they have this traditional experience. They have experience working with this traditional methodology. 85.1% said there was improved project delivery with using Agile methodology. 82.6 said they found Agile to be flexible. As I said from the beginning, that with Agile, there's flexibility, adaptability, and room for change and continuous improvement. And then 81% said they would recommend Agile methodologies to other organizations. Now, the key findings indicated that implementing Agile project management enhanced project performance across multiple dimensions. Specifically, 80.4% of participants reported improved quality, while 73.4% said they achieved better cost control. And then 73% of the respondents confirmed improvements in customer satisfaction, team collaboration, and risk management compared to conventional approaches. Implementing Agile or Lean has not been without challenges. One of it is relates to cultural resistance. I'm not going to explain that because of time. Another has to do with training gaps, contractual constraints, and project complexity. Opportunities that one could get from in the future is using this building information modeling, otherwise called BIM, modular construction, as well as artificial intelligence. Despite these challenges, 85.1% of respondents believe that within the next 5 to 10 years, Agile will become widespread in Qatar, signaling a strong confidence in its future adoption and effectiveness in traditional methodologies. Now, what do we do? What can we do as construction professionals, or as CEOs, or as someone that would like to improve on project management or product development in a company? We have to invest in education and training. My research question also also checked if participants were educated, and 86.5% said yes, they were actually training. CEOs, company owners, or those who want to make their company to become Agile must also integrate into their contract Agile methodologies. In fact, within the Public Works Authority, ASHGAR, in the contract, I mean, with road development, you must have someone from lean background who is certified in lean background. The company too must develop policies about lean, and then the consultant also, supervisory consultant, must have someone to supervise lean implementation in all the projects. Adoption of hybrid approaches. It is true that this is construction. We cannot say that agile, because agile was developed, as I said, for software development. It was not for construction. It was only with time that certain aspects of it became adaptable to construction. So hybrid approaches, that is using agile and traditional methodology, can really work best.
Okay.
Leadership as well. Leadership must also contribute to the success of agile implementation in companies. To promote the agile culture also, we must enhance collaboration, and then we have to as well leverage on emerging technologies like BIM, like artificial intelligence, as I highlighted previously. So the research provides actionable insights demonstrating how agile methodologies can be tailored to traditional industry contexts to achieve improved project outcome with proper adaptation, training, and leadership support. Construction professionals in Qatar and beyond can harness agile's transformative potential to enhance efficiency, quality, and stakeholder satisfaction while navigating disruption.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Buba, for that great presentation. It was indeed a great one from you. And of course, you were able to put us through evaluating the effectiveness of agile methodologies in traditional industries. And you were able to use Qatar as an area of research. Thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. Dr. Daniel, do you have any observation? Dr. Daniel?
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I was muted again. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Buba. Honestly, the presentation was wonderful, and your slide deck, really good. I just want to tell you, well done, and I commend you for that wonderful slide deck that you prepared for the presentation. Well done.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Daniel, for that great appreciation and great observation. I also want to say thank you to Dr. Buba for doing your homework very well. Well done. And checking my list, I can see Prof has joined us. Professor Olufemi has joined us. Okay, so I am going to, I hope he's ready for his presentation now. Okay, let me unmute him.
Oh,
Hello,
yes, I
Prof.
am. Good. Yes, thank you.
Okay, sir, let me introduce you to this gathering before you step onto the podium, please.
Okay.
Okay, one of my keynote speakers for today's virtual program for CISR is no other person but a distinguished professor of agricultural extension and ICT in agriculture in the Department of Agricultural Extension and Development Studies at the University of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. His extensive career, spanning over 30 years, encompasses impactful contributions in teaching, research, and community services, establishing himself as a seasoned leader and, of course, an expert in his field. My professor of today, who is going to be stepping onto the virtual podium, is also an accomplished data analyst processing, specialized proficiency in both qualitative and quantitative research methods. His leadership extends beyond the classroom and research lab. Professor Adesope has held numerous significant administrative responsibilities, including Associate Dean of the School of Graduate Studies and the Faculty of Agriculture, Head of Department of Agricultural Economics and Extension, Vice Chairman, University of Port Harcourt Research Ethics Committee, Chairman of the Departmental Graduate Studies Committee. His tenure as Assistant Director of the Center for Research Management and Development showcased his ability to facilitate impactful workshops and manage scholarship and fellowship programs from the university staff. Professor is committed to scholarly pursuit. Is evident in his successful acquisition and management of numerous research grants and awards, including prestigious funding from the Gender Caucus Canada, the European Union, and the Climate Impact Research Capacity Leadership Enhancement in the UK. Professor is currently serving as a project manager for the British Council-funded Gender Equality Policy Project, a collaborative initiative with the Bournemouth University, United Kingdom. He is highly accomplished, I must say that, an impactful academic leader, a researcher, and community advocate. His extensive experience, coupled with his expertise in agricultural extension, ICT integration, data science, and sustainable development. These are positions him as a significant contributor to both national and international academic and development spheres. Join me tonight as I welcome to this great virtual podium no other person but Professor Adesope Olufemi. Thank you so much for joining us today, Professor. Thank you so much for having you on board.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm deeply sorry. I was online. In fact, we are facing accreditation, and I'm a major stakeholder since yesterday. So I dashed back to kickstart this, and I realized I was the only one online. And I had to get a call to rush back as the team members needed to see me again. So that's why I was offline for a while. I'm so sorry about it.
You're most welcome, sir. We appreciate your presence.
Okay, so I'll try to make it brief. I see my slides are quite more than the others, like I noticed. Now I'm going to be talking about innovation in crisis, emphasis on disruption as opportunity. Well, I'm a Christian, so I want to start from that standpoint. In the Bible, the Bible talks about a vacuum initially, and then there was light. So there was a crisis situation, a nothingness from which opportunity was created. So I'll just leave it at that. Now, generally, my presentation will just focus around this. Like I said, I'll make it brief. Let's look at the crisis context and mindsets. A crisis situation is a period that leads to instability and requires immediate or decisive action. Most times, this threatens the core viability of our current system. We have specific examples of systemic shocks, situations where there's a sudden lacuna, there is a certain need, which we call the crisis in the system. And for instance, the COVID-19 pandemic that we all passed through some 5 years ago Before that time, we never saw it coming, and suddenly it just appeared. That created room for various opportunities, part of which is what we are experiencing now. Before now, maybe I have to start thinking of how do I get to Qatar, things like that. This was not so easy 6 years ago. So we also have situations related to geopolitical conflicts. The Ukraine-Russian war has affected us in different ways. Grains, wheat, from one border to another border. It's a situation. It's a crisis situation, which is actually creating room for other opportunities, anyways. And again, another systemic shock example is the climate scenarios. The issue of flooding, sudden one that just keeps coming. I live in the southern part of Nigeria, Port Harcourt, and the rains come from January to December. 1 minute it's sunny, the next minute it is raining. Now, true disruption is actually what creates new value. This actually upturns current markets, it upturns current systems or even current processes. And like I said before, most times it's an opportunity for new things, for value to be added. So crisis effect lowers the barriers to adoption. So there's a disruptive tendency to want to create new values. That tendency may make systems, organizations, institutions fall into the inertia trap. Now, traditionally, organizations, institutions may default to restoring in the old system. One reason why most people resist change is obviously because of habit. Oh, this is how we have been doing it. So when a new thing comes into force, there's this tendency to want to resist it because they are used to the old way. I'm an agriculturist. There's a technology we call the cooking banana. Cooking banana is a crossbreed between the conventional plantain or banana that we consume and the wild banana. Now, scientists discovered that there was a wild species of banana that was resistant to a very common disease of plantain and banana called black sigatoka disease. Now, this disease is what causes the plantain stand to die off, to fall off before it gets to maturity. So most times on a plantain farm or even a banana plant farm, you may not get up to 70% success rate in harvest. But they discovered there was a particular wild banana that was resistant to that disease. The major disease of which causes rotting. That banana was not was resistant to that disease. So there was a crossbreed between that banana and the conventional plantain or banana that we consume. That gave rise to what we call cooking banana. Now, if you want to go into plantain wine production, plantain flour, plantain chips, and all, rest assured that if you use cooking banana or if you plant cooking banana, you will get almost 90 to 99% success. So the issue of disease is a thing of the past regarding that. This was a disruptive tendency, a disruptive technology in the plantain regime. And then it has changed a lot of things and changed the scenario also. So the tendency for people to want to remain where they are is there until when the crisis comes. And then various indicators of inertia, of wanting to remain in one place, could be that ability to be aversive to taking risks, especially in the research and development scenario. And the outcome of this is that organizations survives the current crisis only to be unprepared for the next. Most times, there may be a crisis, they don't want to get out of it. Not because they don't want to get out of it, because they believe, it may take them so long, so much to do what they have to do to get out of that scenario. The approach is let's manage the situation. That's short-term approach rather than the long-term. So at the end of the day, you will be managing a scenario that actually creating a bigger crisis for yourself. Now, this is a mindset. It's a mindset. But the mindset shift that we are looking at or advocating is the mastery mindset. Initially, the old mindset is that of mitigation. Crisis is a problem to be survived. What do? We avert the risk. Let's go, and at the end of the day, you go back to where you started from. And that's a scenario we are facing day by day. Rather than changing the entire scenario, we want to just take a little bit of it, manage it, and see if it will work out well. At the end of the day, we'll end up spending so much. We'll end up wasting a lot of resources. But the idea is to move from that old view, mitigation stage, to that of the mastery, where focus will be to exploit new market vacuums. I'm going to be talking about a technology at the end of my presentation known as black soda fly, which is a new trajectory in the agricultural environment. Now, disruption is an opportunity. Like I started by talking of nothingness. From nothingness, opportunity is created. Now, let me just give this example, the healthcare telemedicine. I want to be talking from the pre-COVID and even the COVID period. Now, before the COVID period, there was a niche kind of a limited, specific scenario where telemedicine had always been there. People use virtual method of attending to medical-related issues, health-related issues. But before the COVID, yes, only for specific systems, only for specific people. But immediately COVID came, there was a disruptive push. And then in-person appointments became very serious risks. So people, even doctors, didn't want to stay in the hospital. So it became an issue. That was a systemic issue. Now, what did that lead to? It created new, equitable, and efficient primary healthcare system. And even I know today that the healthcare telemedicine has come to stay, which is a disruptive niche. Now, there are 4 pillars of opportunity. I'll just run through them. We have the massive unmet need, where a new scenario, essential demands normally are created by crisis. Then we have the second one, which is new constraints, a situation where the constraint itself, when the COVID came, there were travel bans. This now forced us to create a solution. What kind of a solution? Virtual collaboration. So we could have meetings rather than traveling, we'll meet virtually. So the unmet need, a new constraint, a new problem leading to new solutions. Now, made sure that policymakers became very willing to temporarily or permanently suspend the old rules. And then we entered a new normal. Now, failure may be seen as a negative or a minus. But let's look at failure as high velocity data. Now, the crisis culture must embrace a high tolerance for small failures, because in the failure, you are able to see your mistakes, and we are able to now move ahead and create new situations. I told you about the black sigatoka disease issue. Plantain was experiencing, the plantain enterprise was experiencing disease issues, black sigatoka disease. That was a failure in the system, obviously, because there was nothing they could do about it. But it was an endemic thing. And science was able to identify a situation, a solution to the problem, like bringing in cooking banana, which now created new value to the system. So let's focus less on success rates and more on learning velocity. Now, the tendency again, when there's a crisis, is for us to look for a short-term measure to try to create the situation. Oh, we are doing well. But most times in the microcosm, we think we are doing well. But actually, we should look at the speed with which we solve a problem rather than the rate of the success. Because from a small bird's eye, the tendency to think that one is succeeding is there. Rather, we are not changing anything. So the crisis culture, which has always been the old norm, we need to have a rethink. We need to have a mindset shift to that of mastery. Now, the leadership role here is for us to celebrate lessons learned from experiments that may have failed so that we can get successful outcomes. Now, when leveraging technology and research, what role does technology play in the crisis situation? technology is an enabler. It's not a means, it's not an end in itself. So technology does not cause transformation, if you look at it. What it does is that it provides the tool set to execute new system design. You know, in the present scenario, when we could teach online. Almost every day I have an evening class. I'm not able to finish what I'm doing in the class. I continue with the evening class. I'm not able to reach out to my students who are far away from me. We set up an online class. Now, technology is trying to help open up new barrier, new paradigms for us to be able to solve old problems and even new problems. And what are actually the requirements for this? A strategic integrated approach. So where we are not overhauling entirely the old system, we are imagining and trying to re-engineer new ones, gradually eroding the old ones. Now, if you look at the issue of automation and transformation, automation is like looking at it from a microcosm, from a small bird's eye. We want to do the same old things, but we want to make it faster. It's not solving a problem. But designing a new thing will do us a lot of good. Like the black soda fly I'm going to be talking about. It's been there. Maybe it wasn't well noticed, but it's solving a lot of problems and adding more value to the agricultural landscape. Now, I'll look at one pillar in the technology paradigm, digital backbone. Emphasis now on artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and then cloud computing. Now, AI and machine learning helps us to predict, scenarios. Helps us to, if you look at what I said earlier, in achieving something better. In as much as we have been using technology to solve certain problems before, but artificial intelligence, beyond just automation, is helping to make us solve problems better. Now, the same thing with research and open science. Crisis demands immediate solutions. However, it compresses several decades of research into just a few months. Now, I've been working on black soda fly for the past 4 or 5 years, yes. But early this year, I entered into another dimension to it. Black soda fly can be used to solve livestock feed problems. It can be used to solve environmental problems. These are new issues coming into the fore. Scientists have been working on this, but pockets of scientists just like me, we have been able to bring this to the marketplace. We have been able to bring it to the classroom. We have been able to bring it to the grassroots also. Now, open science helps us to share data, to share protocol, preprint results, and also accelerating our global collective knowledge. So with the aid of technology, we will share information far and wide. I think the previous speaker was talking about knowledge sharing. Now, the ecosystem approach advocates for a collaboration, which some other person just mentioned, a collaboration between the public, the private sector. This will help de-risk early stage research and development. It makes things faster. Transformation will enhance our activities in the academia, in the industry. And that's why we advocate now for the triple helix model, which combines the role of the academia, the role of the industry, and the role of government. And recently, the Triple Helix Plus, it brings in the role of the CSO, the civil society organizations, because if we work in this synergy, we can move the scenario better and faster too. Now, this is the particular technology I want to talk about, the black soda fly larva technology. Black soda fly is a fly that lives and grows in the wild. But it's a grow bird, that is chicken, poultry. It's normally found around poultry dungs, but that may look like problems inside a dung of chick manure. But solution to solving another problem. It's an insect, very docile insect. It doesn't carry disease, unlike the housefly. It's a fly, but it has no mouth parts, so it does not perch on mess and carry it from point to point. the voracious and gregarious part of it is the larva, and that is where actually the technology lies. Now, it tries to solve the problem shortage, the protein shortage for livestock and for fish. Now, if you know a little about fish farming or poultry farming, you realize that 70% of cost of investment goes for the feeds or the feeding. Now, black soda fly has come to solve this issue. It's a natural fly. It contains 30–40% crude protein and healthy oil. And again, it's trying to substitute the conventional soybean and fish meal that are mostly imported. Fish meal and soybean are basic ingredients in feed, fish product, fish feeds and poultry feeds. So, but black soda fly is just living amongst us. It's an insect that is a bioconverter of waste. It converts waste to assets, economic assets. So when it consumes waste, I feed my black soda fly with poultry manure, pig manure, and kitchen waste. That is all. I don't need to buy any feeds. And then it becomes live feeds. The larva becomes live feeds to my chicken, to my fish. When you oven dry it and make it into powdered form, you could even pelletize it, then you can increase the shelf life that way. So it's a disruptive technology in the agricultural sector, especially because it can help to enhance the feed security in terms of the feed for fish, feed for chicken. And also it's helping to manage waste. Black soda fly helps to consume the waste before they begin to smell. So it has strong potentials for environmental management. So the role is here that what it's here to offer is a localized, sustainable, and circular alternative to both waste and feed in the environment. So obviously the traditional system is a failure. But the BSF has come to disrupt. BSF is black soda fly, the larva. It has come to disrupt the old ways of relying on imported soybean, imported fish meal. This lives amongst us, which we can, we can grow naturally. So the key thing here is that our black soda fly has high value protein. The larva serves as feed, and then the frass, which is the excrement, mixes with the substrate that we use in growing them and becomes manure for vegetables and your other crops. And it has a large feed conversion ratio. So the crux of the matter is to leverage on technology such as black soda fly. There's precision farming, there's some Internet of Things, which can also combine with black soda fly to monitor the growth, also to monitor the growth of fish, to monitor even the feed conversion. Black soda fly is a protein feed disruptor, like I said before. It's also a waste management disruptor. A new value chain has thus been created with the advent of or the entrance of black soda fly into the agricultural landscape, whereas the old method had been from the farm to the processor and then to the landfill and then into the ocean. This is what waste is all about. The linear model. You test, you use, and you throw away. But the BSF chain is the waste, whatever the waste is, basically organic waste. Organic waste is taken, given to them as feed, and then from the farm, they convert the feed into protein. You can extract oil from it. The oil you can use for your cream. The larva can also be consumed anyways, even though I know it's in small quantities now. And then the frass. So these three things can be produced from it. Hence, they can be used to feed our farms local, our fish and our chicken locally. So a classical example, like I had explained, is that of the BSF. Now, our call to action is that crisis is a temporary window where radical ideas become possible. And what is our choice? Passively endure the disruption or actively design the new systems that would define the next generation of global viability. We need to embrace the reset. And to end it all, I need to say that innovation begins with intentional, disruptive design. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof, for that great presentation. And I'm sure you have listened so much to Prof's presentation. Was able to talk about how to, in terms of crisis, what are the opportunities that we're bound to get, and the best ways we can treat crisis with great innovation. Thank you so much, Prof. And
Thank you.
we appreciate your time. We appreciate your presence in our midst, and I'm sure a lot of people have gained so much from your presentation. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful.
Now it is time for questions and answers. Like if you have questions for any of our speakers, the prof, Dr. Olukemi, and also if you have any question for Professor Olukemi as well, and any of our award presenters, Dr. Steven, Dr. Peter, Dr. Buba, if you have any question for them, kindly signify. If you like to type the questions in the chat box, is also acceptable. So do we have any question, please? You can raise up your hand for you to be unmuted if you have any question, observation. From the presenting papers, please let us know if you have any question, observation, please. Okay, I think we are all good for today.
Okay, sorry, I have a question for Dr. Peter.
Okay.
Yes, and my question is, how effective can the solution have effect on the leadership problems in Qatar? As in, how effective is the solutions they provided to the problems have effects on the leadership problems in Qatar? Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Buba, are you there?
So Peter,
Peter, okay.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yes.
Good evening.
Yeah, regarding to your question, actually the leadership in Qatar, because of the diverse the culture, there are so many influx of people coming from different countries. So the leadership is not all that straightforward, but as for me, the solution for this, according to my research, they need to make the policies that they are presenting, the procedures to be more practical. Not that they have to maybe they are talking only on the document. Maybe there is a procedures on this, there is a policy on this. They need to make it to be more practical. That is what I already put in my research. In order to provide solution in industries. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. He's talking about the practicability of suggested solutions. Thank you so much for that great response. Any other question, please? Any other question? Okay. In the absence of questions, in the absence of more questions, I think I would like to, we're coming to the vote of thanks now. And I would like Dr. Victoria. Is Dr. Victoria still online? Dr. Victoria, are you here?
She is not. She said she has network issues. So don't worry.
Okay. Okay. So I will also, then you will be the one to give the vote of thanks then.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. I would like to use this opportunity to thank all the presenters for today's event. Thank you all the way from all our speakers from Nigeria, from Qatar, from Rwanda. Thank you everyone for being here. And it's a great privilege for us to be here today. And tomorrow is another day. Let's all come out, and then I wish each and every one of the awardees the best in their presentation. To our moderator for today's event, Dr. Torakol, thank you very much for your time, for your presentation, and see you tomorrow, everyone. And have a great evening as well.
Okay, thank you so much. My appreciation goes to everyone on this call, Lord. You can please unmute yourself and say hi to everyone. Thank you
And
so much.
everyone can also be on the video so we can take a picture for
Okay, you can also
today's.
come on video for us to take group pictures if you are comfortable with that. Okay. Okay, we want to say thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, you can take the picture now. Please, if you are comfortable, you
Okay,
can come
kindly
online.
unmute everyone. I think
Okay,
unmute
kindly
everyone.
unmute everyone, please. Dr. Olukemi, thank you so much for your presentation and for staying till this time. Please.
Everyone is on mute. You can unmute yourself now.
My video cannot come up. It's still showing me it is disabled until, okay, you need to disable.
Okay, maybe from the host.
I cannot start my video because it is disabled by the host. Please, can you help me do that?
Kindly try it again. It's working.
Okay, fine. It's good now.
Dr. Tawakalit, we are muted.
Oh my God. Am I?
Sorry about that.
I've been talking. I've been talking since.
Yes.
Okay. Prof, thank you so much for that great presentation. Nice seeing your face here. Thank you, Dr. Olukemi. Thank you so much for staying till this time. She started with us and she's still waiting. She's still here. We appreciate you so much. And our awardee, Dr. Awardee, Dr. Stephen, Dr. Tande, thank you all. Dr.
Sorry for
Aisha.
that. This is Mahmoud. I want to ask one question. Tomorrow it's the same time, 6 to 9.
Yes. Same
Yeah,
time, please. So tomorrow,
yeah.
do not forget to log in the same time, same venue. And by His grace, on Friday, we shall have the get together, the physical one. And I can't wait. I'm sure you had a great and a splendid time tonight. We appreciate you all for coming and for staying to this moment. So if you got something to say, you can unmute yourself and say bye. Or am I still
No,
on?
Dr. Idaya, next time you should bring us to Qatar physically. The physical one, too,
Yes,
so we'll be there.
yes. This was planned before, but we'll talk about that behind the camera because we
Yeah,
actually
it will be
wanted
more
everyone
fun.
to come.
More fun.
Yeah,
Hello,
we actually wanted everyone to come because we have the means to bring people that are willing to come.
You see?
Yeah, we have the means. we have the means to bring people who are willing to come, but I'm sure we can discuss about that behind the camera.
Okay.
You know, Dr. Victoria should have been here also. I don't know why she's not coming. And Dr. Olukemi also can join us next time. So to everyone who is here to grace this great virtual workshop, I say thank you. We appreciate you sincerely. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow by His grace. And till then, I want to say thank you and do enjoy your evening. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Thank you.